Sure. My name is Rod Parry. I'm the general manager of Lake Venice Golf Club. Basically, I'm responsible for most of the goings-on at the golf course, for maintenance, employees, and just everything in general. We're kind of tucked down the end here, a little jewel on the end of the island, I call it. Been here in 1958. They started. It was kind of a byproduct of the local golf course that was run by the city that went under, and then the local gentry came out and put a bond issue together, and they went ahead and got a little golf course together here. And that started in 1958. Mostly just local people here, local people that wanted to play golf, and that's how it started. We had Early Wynn from Wynn and Construction, Hall of Famer. He and his construction company went ahead and built the golf course, and it was designed by Mark Mahana, who also did Jacaranda West quite a few years later. So that's kind of how things started, and so we've been here probably the second longest run of a public golf course in the county. Yeah, they had a 9-hole course, then they expanded it to 18. Mark finished the design there, and then I guess in around 73 or so, they did another 9, third 9 over by the road adjacent to Harbor Drive. That's what I refer to as the Prophet. That's where the league play is, and that's where, in season we have a lot of different groups represented from a lot of different civic associations, mobile home parks, residences come out and gather as a group of probably 16, 20, up to 60 actually some days. And they go ahead and come out and play a little league play every week and have some camaraderie within the community. And it's really quite nice. Yeah, I believe we're a destination that is really unique for a number of reasons. Number one, we have no tee times. A lot of people say, why no tee times? Well, basically you can come in December, do the family thing, do Christmas, do the returns, and say, wow, now I'm going to go out and have a little golf. And you essentially could call a golf course and have a 4-day pre-booked tee time and maybe not be able to play. Not the case at Lake Venice. Lake Venice, you can come anytime you want. You may have an hour and a half wait in the very height of the season in February, March. But generally I come out 40 minutes before I'm going to play, so it's not really that restrictive. The other thing that makes us really unique is that you can walk or ride at any time. No other golf course in town does that. In fact, very few do it in the golf industry at all. We find it unique in that a lot of the seniors like to walk. It is less expensive if you walk, and it affords them the opportunity to play not just once a week, but possibly multiple times. So for those reasons, we've never changed that. We've had some people scratch their head a few times. It works for us, so we're going to kind of we're not going to change it any. Yeah, we try to do a lot of civic service clubs, a lot with the high school, with the softball and baseball and football and the different sports that are out there that need funding. And if you look at the golf team, they don't really have any funding. We've given, for 16 years, we've given $500 to $1,100, $1,300 a year to a fund there. The girls have a pretty good situation from a lady that funded something at Mission Valley for the girls, but the boys didn't have anything. We're trying to get a scholarship situation for those boys that have come through the system, and it's nice in that there's been 3 or 4 young men that are actually golf pros in the business that came up through the ranks of the Venice High School team, which we host the JV, we host the qualifiers here. Civics groups, they come out and I feel they can make a little bit more money here. Our rates are more reasonable. We don't restrict them where they have to buy the food, or they can cook. They can pretty much do what they want to have a good time in their fundraisers, and some of them are extremely successful that help their organizations do so many things in the community they couldn't do without. You have to sell a lot of cakes and a lot of car washes. They can do a lot that day with a golf tournament. I guess one of the amenities is just the great location that we have. You can you can do a lot worse than walk 9 or 18 holes of golf on this property. This property is unique. You can see wildlife. We have ospreys and bobcats and alligators. Alligators sometimes we've had a couple problems with over the years. But the net result is when you come out, it's a really, really nice afternoon or morning. You always have a cooler breeze when you're out here. Right now it's probably going to be 94 today and would probably feel like 87 in the afternoon off the sea breeze, because we are directly adjacent to the Gulf of Mexico, which is, well, there's not any property like this left on the west coast of Florida from Fort Myers to probably Tarpon Springs. So it's a very desirable location. We love it. Our people love it. Some of the amenities, you know, we have a clubhouse, not a lot of fanciness, not a lot of frills. Good cold drink, great sandwich, reasonable price, great view that you can do again day after day. We've got a driving range, we've got a putting area, chipping area. Basically the mainstay of the golf course would be the golf course itself. It's a terrific layout, one that everybody that comes here enjoys, and it's really one of the best layouts in town.
For you yourself, do you golf the course here?
I attempt that a couple times a week, usually on Wednesday and then usually on Saturday. We have a group of people. Again, we started with 7 and we've gotten as high as 83 or 4 one day, which we had to cut back because we couldn't make the turn. So we do that at our slow times, and believe it or not, everybody up north says, well, Saturday you're busy, aren't you? Is it more expensive? Just the opposite here. Mom and Dad play Monday through Friday, Saturday's honeydew, and Sunday's church. So, you know, we are different in Florida, where it's not like it is up north, where you're waiting in a car at Beth Plays Black at 3 in the morning trying to get a tee time. It's the same rate every day. It's the same rate all day. 14's my bugaboo, but 5 is probably, it's a great par 4, but it's really a golf hole that could be anywhere on any golf course. You got to hit a demanding tee shot to an elevated tee, to a rise in the fairway, to a guarded green with a 75-foot pine. It's really, and well treed on both sides. It's probably, I think, our best hole if you're going to rate them by visual and design. I lived in Venice. I had a business in Venice for 20-some years. My wife actually came and worked here for about 3 years prior to myself. I've been here, like I said, 20 years. She's been here 23 or 4. She is the boss. So I had to check with her. Unfortunately, the fellow that was here, we became friendly, was her boss. And we would, you know, go out and buy some things at Sam's for the restaurant, and we maybe grabbed a pizza afterwards, and we became friendly. And George Wheeler ran the golf course at that time, and I agreed to disagree with my franchise holder. I split, came out here. He said, come out and work for a month. I'd been inside fluorescent lights for 20-some years. I came out, I lost some weight. It was wonderful. Didn't make any money. I didn't care. Told him I'd be here about a month till corporate gave me my money back, and we would move from there. I was fortunate enough to know some people on the board from kind of hanging out here. It was a privilege to play golf, and because my wife worked here, I was afforded that opportunity, which I took advantage of. And one night George was driving home, and unfortunately, for all the wrong reasons, I'm here because George passed away one night. Mr. Schroed came to me the next day, who was one of the vice president and then the future president, and asked me if I would consider running the golf course, which shocked me, but it was something I wanted to do anyway, because I told George, if you ever retire, I'd like to interview. And so that's kind of how it came about. And you know, we just go out. It's nice to look out the window. It's nice to not be in the corporate world. It's nice to know that you can make a difference if you care, and I really care about this place.
Like I said, it's one of our longest par 4s. Okay, for the average golfer, their normal tee area would be right here, about the middle of the tees, with the blue tee about 20 yards back further. I said then it's a dog leg right, which means it swings to the right like 90 degrees out there past that sand bunker. I said for the average golfer, like I said earlier, this is really a 3-shot par 4. Okay, most of our par 4s are accessible in 2. And this is, if I look at the handicap card, I'm not sure, but it's one of our harder holes for par 4. It'll be their tee shot on number 2, right in this area. Okay, it's kind of narrow fairway, maybe 25 yards wide, and this would be their landing area to tee shot. Now if you look, they still have a long distance to get to the green. I have a bunker here, and I have the green is bunkered, sand bunkered on the right and sand bunkered on the left. And for the most part, if you play Lake Venice, all our greens are quite small, 4,500 to 5,000 square feet. So you have to be accurate.
Do people have a lot of trouble by overdriving?
My clientele, no. The average golfer is going to hit their next shot about 50 yards short, 60 yards short on this hole, number 2, and then they're going to, from there, they'll wedge up. And hopefully they sink a putt to make par. This is a tough challenge for the average golfer. Strategy for this hole is to hit an accurate tee shot. Okay, if you hit an accurate tee shot and get it somewhere down in the bunker area, you're going to leave yourself with, you know, 150 to 170 yard shot into the green, into a small green, once again, like 4,500 to 5,000 square feet. That's accuracy is the key here. You've got to hit the fairway, because the whole play is tough when you start pulling it left, bleeding it right. We have so many trees on the right now. If you happen to hit it right, you've turned yourself a par into an easy bogey, because now you got to punch out and then you got to try to hit on. This is number 6. This is 475 yard par 5. This is where you can get a shot back on this golf course, if you play it correctly. It can be played two different ways, actually 3 for some. You can make it a 3-shot par 5 by hitting drive down the middle, and I have a lateral hazard to the left, the pond, and a lateral hazard that cuts across the fairway. You can carry it over that in 2, and then you have a short approach for your 3rd shot. I go the other way is to take a wood, 3 wood, 5 wood, and try to turn it right to left, which would leave you 160 yard second shot into a par 5. Now that's a great position to leave yourself in if you have 160 yard second shot into a par 5, because then you could easily get on into 2 putt. If I don't do anything great, is a birdie. That's 1 under for that hole. You know, hey, I might knock it in for an eagle. Okay, I do have some gorillas here, and back in when I was younger, I used to be the same way. Took driver right here and take it up over these trees. Okay, remember though, all here to the left is a hazard. You got to carry it. There's some here that can still carry it. And then you leave yourself with a 100 yard or 90 yard shot, and if you're lucky, into this hole. Then it's a definite advantage. The only disadvantage is, you know, you miss-hit your tee shot, you're looking at a double bogey. You're looking at a 7 instead of a 3 or 4. So this is definitely one hole to get back a stroke. Like I said, you could play it just the regular way, which is a 3-shot par 5. You would be in this position here. Okay? You'd be in this position here for the average golfer. Now your next shot, you want to hit it 150 to 180 yards, and I have a lateral water hazard cutting right across the fairway ahead of us. You can see it, yellow stake. It's not a lateral, that's just a water hazard. The lateral is to the left here with the red stake. You got to hit this shot 150 to 175 yards, and then you'll have a 100-yard shot into the green. That's the normal standard way to play this as a par 5, which is, for our clientele, that's the way most of them do play it. Now the second option I'm going to go up to show you, if you took a wood off the tee and turned it right to left, would leave you with a second shot from 150 to 165 yards in, and that's great. And this is done without too much risk. Put you in a position right here, looking straight down at the green. I'm 165 from the green now. You know, for me it's a 6 iron. For most players it's going to be maybe a longer iron. I mean, for the clientele that we have is going to be a wood, but it's still accessible to them. Some of the guys can still play. Some of my older guys clientele, they can hit it to here with a great tee shot and they can get on. You get on in 2 and 2 putt, it's a birdie, and that's what you want to do. This is option number 2. Okay, option 3, I'm going to take you to where if we took it over everything and landed, we'll be on the other side of that hazard, and I'll show you. It'll be about 105, 110 yards in.
That's the one they better be driving 300 for?
Mm-hmm. That's the one you got to hit it. You got to really bang it to get to this third option. You can see from right here, this is nothing to the second shot into the par 5, which 100 yards. So they're going to hit, I don't know, anything lob wedge, gap wedge, something like this, which is fantastic, you know. But like I said, it's risk reward. You got to hit it right to this area. You mishit it, you bring 7 into the equation, which is double bogey.
Yeah. And you pretty much got to clear all of those trees.
Mm-hmm. Clear all those trees. Lateral hazard there with the pond. Water hazard here. This little, it has water in it right here. That's another hazard. You know, you have to be really lucky. So it's definitely not a shot. The second option, hitting it with 3-wood and bending it, there you go. It's much easier. We have a lot of tournaments though that, you know, we hold a lot of tournaments during the year for people, for charities or whatever. They come and they want to play. But when you play a 4-person scramble, 4-person scramble is they take the best drive, they take the best second shot, so if you're in one of those formats, that's when you see this third option. Somebody's already hit a great drive out there. Well, now I'm going to try to bang my ball as far as I can to get us a better shot. You know, if I miss it, so what? We're still taking the best drive of the foursome, which will be in a great shape. That's when you see a lot of people try this, hit the driver, try to get it in that area. Here we're approaching the number 10, the second 9 of the original 18. And this is 503 yards from the back tees, par 5. And we talked about earlier how the hole originally was and how we've had to reconfigure. This is one where, as you can see, they took the airport fence and brought it in, and we lost about 30 yards over hole on the left. But
did it change the way it played at all?
Well, anytime you have the fence on your left, yeah, because that's out of bounds, that's lost. But before we didn't have that. We did have a dirt road years ago, like I told you when the ladies played here in 65, 66, I think it was. There was a dirt road, there wasn't a fence, and left of the road was out of bounds. So
it's somewhat similar, but...
Yeah, it's similar, but a little bit tighter, you know. You don't have so much room left anymore. And you see we have the trees down the right-hand side. Try to give you somewhat of a guide to hit down to. That's where you want to hit it. Longest par 5. You have a water hazard that crosses 100 yards short of the green, and the lateral water hazard on the left, the pond to the left of the green. You asked me to talk about risk reward holes. Number 11, even though it's a short par 4, 354 yards from the back tees here, it's a dog leg right. Almost all golfers will hit straight forward left of the sand bunker on the right, which is like a 200-yard shot, maybe 210. Some golfers, the wrists will tee it up and take it straight for the green, and we have some here like that. They'll tee it up and take it straight for the green and possibly get on where they're putting for eagle. If you don't get to the green though, the area that we will go to, and I'll show you, is pretty much trouble. It's nothing but trees and poor turf. It's rough. We're at it. I'll take you out there, Thor. If you hit the normal shot, you'll see you only have 150 to 130 yards in, and it still brings birdie into play. If you weren't going to risk taking off some of the hole, this is where your tee shot would be, right in this area. Approximately 200 yards from the tee, and leaves you with, you know, a mid-iron into the very small green.
And that's basically the safe shot.
This is the safe shot. Now, like I said, the risk part, going for the green, and you can see, you could probably pan over there, that's the area that they have to cover, or have to carry, I mean, with their tee shot. And if they don't carry it, there's a good chance you're behind a tree, you have sandy soil, real tough second shot from there. This is the smart play on this hole, this area, because you still have birdie. Anytime you put short iron, mid iron in your hand, there's still a good chance for birdie. This is our signature hole. This is the ultimate in the risk reward. From the back tees, it plays 447, dogleg left around the red lake. If you look to the left, straight out, well, that's the green. Okay? The smart golfer, the 4 is a great score. A par here is a great score. Okay, where those people are out there in the middle, where the palms are from the back of the tee here, it's like 190 to 200 yards. From the up tee, it's going to be 160 to hit in that area. That's the safe shot, to hit in that area. And then you'll have yourself 165 to 170 yards second shot in, and the second shot in is guarded on the right and left with water. Now the guys that can hit it pretty long, the point comes out there to the landing point is like you have to be able to hit it 245 to 250, and everybody says, oh, I hit that, I can hit that, until they tee it up and they try to hit ball after ball after ball in, because you got to carry also the mangroves. Now you can see the mangroves 6 foot high all the way around. Got to carry them too. But we do have
distance, you need some height out there.
Right, we do have some guys that can take it right to the green. You know, put it up there next to the green. Some guys even put it on. You know, hey, now you're looking 3's definitely a birdie, definitely possible eagle. You know, it's great risk reward. A lot of tournaments have been won and lost on this hole. We hold the city championship here in October, and we hold a 2-man championship next month, and you'll see a lot of things happen on this hole. You know, birdies to double and triple bogeys all over the cards when they turn them in. Okay, everything happens on number 17. That's our signature hole. This is one. It's really just gorgeous, just gorgeous. Right here, 160, 170 in. This is your landing area when you want to play it safe, when you're looking at just trying to get out of here with a par 4. And if you look at the second shot though, you have water still on the right, big bunker in front of the green on the right hand side, and as we get up there, you'll see it's water left. So even though we played it safe, there's still
a lot of risk.
Still a lot of trouble ahead. Leaves yourself roughly 45-50 yards into the green, and definitely 3 now. Birdie is in the equation. And like I said, Thor, a lot of tournaments have been won and lost with debating whether to hit this shot or play it safe on number 17.
We feel fortunate to to come out and make the golf course better each year, which we try to do from various things that are mentioned by the members or the board that want to make the facility a little better. We've done that through some overseeding, which has been a great thing through the winter. My feeling was when people come south, they want to see green. They don't want to see brown or dirt, and it's a mixed bag. We happen to spend the money to overseed. We do greens, tees, and fairways. We give it some undulation and a look that is not just straight green. So it's really kind of nice. It's very pleasing to the eye and gives you something to, as a golfer would say, hit off of, hit toward. Traps aren't there just as a hazard. Sometimes they're there to aim at and miss. So down the road, I guess what will happen, the city probably will get the golf course back or give it to another group of individuals that will lease it. We hope it stays here. I certainly hope to retire someday and play a lot of my golf here, because I never get tired of playing this course, and I can say that and look you dead in the eye. It changes a living, breathing organism, and sometimes it breathes fire. Some days are better than others. You just rent the game anyway, because you just have fun.